What is good, Ninja? OG over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to my village of Nintendo Switch and gaming news. Today, we got a lot of great information for you, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Saber Interactive is working on an NBA Playgrounds optimization. Controller rumble patch is in the works. So the following comes from a Saber Interactive tech support. They are gathering feedback related to the performance optimization, taking into account comments and resolution for optimization, preparing an optimization patch right now, but can't promise resolution will change, and that is for the handheld mode, because the resolution on the handheld mode definitely isn't 720p from what people are saying, and working on a fix for vibration on the Nintendo Switch, because sometimes that controller goes a little crazy. Yeah, that'd be cool. Obviously, NBA Playgrounds is probably doing well. I think when I checked the best sellers on the day that it launched, it shot up to 6th without even that much of sales for the day of launch or like the day after. So I'm pretty sure NBA Playgrounds might rise up just because people are remembering that old school NBA Jam from the Super Nintendo, and it's definitely a good game. They need some stuff to add to the Nintendo Switch version, online play, obviously some optimization for portable mode looks a little fuzzy, but I think once they kind of get everything out and they start adding all the new playgrounds and free packs, I think it's going to take a good game and get it even better. So definitely looking forward to that. Are you guys enjoying NBA Playgrounds on the Nintendo Switch or PS4, Xbox One, PC? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, I'm moving on to the next article here. GameStop is selling Nintendo Switch bundles, which will ship on May 19th. So GameStop currently has 3 different Nintendo Switch bundles in stock on their website. As of the time that I'm recording this video, gray and neon options are available, and when you click over to their website, the first bundle is a Nintendo Switch Gray Digital Deluxe Library Bundle, and it ships on May 19th, like we talked about here, and it includes Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Has-Been Heroes, Shovel Knight, and Gray Nintendo Switch, and all of these bundles are at least, the minimum is $479.99, but topping out at $484.99 for just a variety of games. And if you want to see everything, make sure you check out the link in the description below. And once again, GameStop is taking advantage of how popular Nintendo Switch is, bundling all this stuff with it, with some games that you might not even want. But hey, it is what it is. If you're looking for a Nintendo Switch, they do have them, and they're shipping out May 19th. So let me know what you guys think about these bundles here in the comment section below, and will you be picking this up? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Alright, I'm moving on to the next article here. We're going to discuss the Media Create sales charts just briefly. I did this on my Patreon bonus live stream. If you haven't checked that out, please check that out. That's where I announced that I am an official Nintendo ambassador at this point, so I'll have a link to that in the description below. But I will just briefly talk about the Media Create sales charts for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's Golden Week, so we really didn't get the numbers out there, but there wasn't any new software or anything. I'm just going to go over Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's sales, which was 90,652 units for a grand total of 375,475 units. Now, for those who don't know, the Media Create sales charts are the Japanese sales charts only for physical games, not digital included. We get some digital stuff from Famitsu probably later down the line. But yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, another 90,000 units, almost 100,000, and with digital, maybe even that. So pretty good there, nearing 400,000 units already. The Nintendo Switch was the top selling system, another 47,911 units, and they are supply constrained. Nintendo's busted it to even sell that many as far as getting those in stores. Anytime they come up, they're gone. So pretty cool there. I like to see that Nintendo is probably going to hold strong with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe pretty much throughout of May. And plus there's some good games coming out as far as Disgaea 5, and we have Ultra Street Fighter, Minecraft coming out. So good stuff, and I think that the sales will continue to be really good, especially in Japan. Alright, I'm moving on to RIMEgate 2017. So RIME's digital version now costs $10 less on the Nintendo Switch physical version to come with a soundtracked code. It was announced a couple months ago that RIME would be priced at $39.99 for the Nintendo Switch. That's despite the fact that all of the versions will be sold at $29.99. Naturally, people weren't happy about the $10 price hike, but publisher Greybox is looking to soften the blow. RIME's digital version will now cost $10 less, down to $29.99. Although the physical version's price still isn't changing, it will now include a printed code for a download of the full soundtrack, which will normally cost $10 on its own. Greybox reiterated today that the original price difference comes down to additional development, manufacturing, and publishing costs on the Nintendo Switch. If it were any lower, RIME would be sold at a loss. Below is the full message from Greybox. Back in March, we announced that the Nintendo Switch version of RIME was going to be released at $39.99. The reason for the higher price was due to the additional development, manufacturing, and publishing costs involved with that port. While some were understanding of these go-to-market costs, there were still a number of folks who weren't happy. We totally understand. Nobody wants to pay higher prices. At Greybox, we are determined to provide a fair deal for everyone around, and so we discussed how we could do that without simply selling at a loss, all while also being fair to our retail partners. So here's what we're doing. First off, the digital version of RIME on the Nintendo Switch will now cost $29.99, the same price as the game on other platforms, so that's straightforward enough. On the physical side, we can't lower the price without selling at a loss, but we can add more value to the package, and that's what we're doing. For the Nintendo Switch version of RIME, all physical copies will include a printed code for the download of the complete, beautiful soundtrack by David Garcia, a sample of which you can find here. You will also be able to download the music via Bandcamp in one of the multiple high-quality formats. The soundtrack is planned on being sold separately for $10 in the US. The equivalent price is elsewhere. And so the value you're going to get out of this will be the same as somebody who purchased a different version of RIME and then bought the soundtrack. Like I said, Greybox goals are to provide a great product at a great value. We hope you'll find this new offering to be fair. Personally, we're excited about it because we want as many people as possible to hear David's music. Regardless, we assure you that no matter which version of RIME you play, and we hope to have a Nintendo Switch version date announced shortly, you're going to have an amazing and touching experience. Thanks very much for your support. So let's talk about this just a little bit because this was a big controversy, and I said the same thing. I was like, okay, well, if you're going to talk about the whole manufacturing costs and all that, I get it. Porting costs, definitely get that. To get that thing optimized on the Nintendo Switch outside of what you guys were doing, all of a sudden out of nowhere to put that in there, okay, cool, makes sense. But the digital version of the game should be cheaper. That's what I said back then. I was like, well, why don't you make the digital version cheaper? And that's exactly what they did. Now, he did say being fair to the retail partners, because there was a number of people that also said, okay, well, that's fine if you want to make the digital version cheaper, but that kind of screws over retail partners who are looking to get a cut as well. So I think this is probably the best of both, especially if this game's soundtrack is really good. Charging that price is fine. I know there were still some people that were upset, oh, well, the physical version is not going to be the same, and which I understand that. I completely understand, but clearly they're not trying to screw people over with this one here. They're trying to make things right. If that's the manufacturing cost as far as what they need to do, as far as the team that they have in order to port RIME over, then that's what it is. But if you're interested in this soundtrack, the physical version is still going to be awesome, and you also have to look at it, at least this is how I look at it, you're kind of getting two versions of the game as far as optimization goes. You're getting the console version and you're getting the version on the go, so it's kind of like if the game came out on the Wii U and the 3DS and you get both versions. So for example, Hyrule Warriors, it's like getting the Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U and you're also getting the Hyrule Warriors on the 3DS. But far better because it's essentially one device. But I definitely don't agree with developers charging more on the Nintendo Switch than other systems. It should always be the same price, but I think this is fair as far as their solution, or at least the best that we can make out of a bad situation. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And are you guys going to be picking up RIME? I'd love to hear what you guys think about the newest footage of the game as well. Alright, and for the last article here, Masahiro Sakurai discusses, compares and contrasts Horizon Zero Dawn and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So very close, very different, says Sakurai's Famitsu column, volume 527. This was originally published on March 30th, 2017. So a week before writing this column, two wonderfully outstanding works were released, and I was torn between how to spend my time. Horizon Zero Dawn, from here on out, will be just called Horizon, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, further referred to as Zelda. By all means, play them both because they are really masterpieces. That being said, I'm surprised by the fact that although there are aspects that are very close, there are other aspects that are very different. First, I will summarize their common points. Common features: open world ARPG, the protagonist carries the fate of the world on their shoulders, antiquated culture, there aren't many towns, a story that chases a forgotten past, strategy and tactics centered around the bow and arrow, day-to-day collecting of raw materials and hunting, hiding and surprising attacks are effective, enemy drops their equipment when neutralized, use everything of the surroundings, catch wild creatures and ride them, skillfully prepare and change equipment to suit the best situation. Development period was roughly 6 years and a question mark after that. Next, he says he'll summarize the areas we felt that were contrasting, and the former is Horizon, the latter is Zelda. So contrasting aspects: new IP from overseas, series with deep history in Japan. Enemies are mechanized living creatures of metal, standard monsters of flesh. Nimble and can swiftly dash without limit. Sprinting is punctuated by resting from time to time so your stamina gauge doesn't run out. Cliff climbing is smooth, like semi-automatic acrobatics. Steady climb, managing the stamina gauge. Battles are flashy, bring down the enemy with overwhelming attack and end with a finishing blow. Fights tend to become a matter of using long-range attacks and attacking after dodging to minimize risk of damage. Even if you run out of ammo, you can quickly craft things on the spot to make as many life restoration items as you want. Preparation and making arrows, weapons, equipment, cooking beforehand is essential. Take out enemies and become stronger through skills and leveling up. Become stronger by finding shrines, clearing puzzles, and increasing the level of your stamina and heart gauge. Free to catch as many horses and creatures as you want and switch rides often. You have to register horses at the stable, and there's a limit to the number of favorites you can have. The graphics are very realistic. The models of the machines and things are beautiful, and the attention to detail is eye-catching. Presented with a cartoonish art style that omits details yet possesses a unique characteristic. Story-driven, the intention of the main character is clear and it follows the story. Freedom. The depiction of the main character is vague and has no dialogue, so it's easy to project the player's own feelings. Due to the aforementioned point, one doesn't get lost because the next destination is made clear by the basic structure. It's nice that everything is open and available. You are allowed to go everywhere and even challenge the last boss from the beginning. So overall, Horizon is more stress-free and Zelda is becoming a tiresome routine. However, if you've played Zelda, you probably understand this well. The chores of Zelda are the most fun part. If the game is easy to play, that's definitely a good thing. Even recently, it's become a trend to take note of the amount of stress the player feels. But again, comfort and the fun of resource management are two different things. Purposefully doing things in a roundabout way or steadily doing things one at a time can be enjoyable, and leveling up your character's stats create a really good feeling on top of that. As a principle, I think both are the right answer. Once you get used to each of the game's bows, horses, and combat systems, the confusion of switching between them is also a bit of fun. I repeat, play them both if possible. So many well-made works lining up like this doesn't happen often. So I have to 100% agree with Sakurai when it comes to things. Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely more of a stress-free atmosphere. There's really a lot of stuff that's kind of done for you. The climbing, there's not a lot of resource management that you have to deal with, whereas The Legend of Zelda can become tiresome at points, dealing with the cold, dealing with the hot, dealing with all the different things. It can become stressful. It can definitely become a point to where you're like, man, I really got to do this, 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 and this, and whereas Horizon Zero Dawn is kind of like autopilot when it comes to certain things. You can really just focus on leveling up, just focus on attacking, focus on those things, whereas Zelda has so many other things going on. It's so complex. And I think that's the difference between the two games. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is really like a survival type of game. It's like part Survivor, part Zelda, part everything. It's such a weird game that mixes in all these different aspects, and it's one of the only games really that I really feel like I'm out there trying to survive the wild when it's really hot or when it's really cold, and which some people hate. They don't like all those aspects being tied up into there, but I think that's why The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild got such a good score that it did, because it did something different, because it added in all of those mechanics, because it just tried something very new that a lot of developers probably wouldn't do because they're worried about the player being stressed with all that different stuff and not focusing on other things. Zelda just said, nah, skip that. We want to make this as if you're trying to survive the wild, and the name perfectly suits the type of game that it is. Whereas Horizon is going for that flashy look, going for that Killzone type of graphical environments, but making a game that's probably better than any Killzone that I've played, at least, and I've played all of them, and Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely the best game that I've played from that studio. So they're very different, but at the same time they have some similarities. Obviously there was a lot of comparisons, but some people are definitely going to like one game more than the other, but for me, I definitely like the style of Zelda a little bit more than Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't went back to the game at this point, but I still think it's really good. They're both really good games, and of course, if you can play them both, definitely do so. So what do you guys think about Masahiro Sakurai's thoughts on the matter? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and your comparisons below as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember, we have our Patreon campaign that is going on. We'll be giving away this bad boy at the end of this month / early next month, June. Make sure you check out the link in the description below. We have a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Guardian Amiibo giveaway. Pledge any tier, that'll get you at least one entry to win this, plus a bunch of other perks such as Discord chat through our live streams, your name scrolling across, and much more. So please check out our Patreon campaign. Help support PE Alive, PE Arena, and the channel. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I'm working on that ninja video for you guys as well, so look forward to that. And we're already well on our way to the second ninja training video and bonus live stream that I'll be having for you guys. So thank you so much for all the support. You guys are amazing. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let you know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you then for the next video. Peace.